One of the longest running traditions of the Amiibo training community is the Amiibo Training Guide. This has been a thing since Smash 4. Back in the day, a little known website called amiibotrainersource.blogspot.com, don't quote me on that URL, published guides about, hey, here's how to train such and such Amiibo. And I think that I'm qualified to train this because I think I'm pretty good at this Amiibo. These days, that tradition sucks. Smash 4 was the right game to start a tradition like this, because the meta in Smash 4 was very linear. Amiibo battles basically took place exclusively on the ground. This is because at the time, Amiibo AI was, shall we say, excellent at its anti-air options. The first one to jump got up smashed. Now, this sort of created a culture of orthodoxy in the Amiibo community. If you didn't train your Amiibo the way that the best Amiibo were, you kind of got picked on. So as a result, Amiibo training guides were created, not the fault of the original creator, but they were co-opted by the larger community as a way to sort of enforce orthodoxy under the guise of, well, you want to train a good Amiibo, don't ya? But the problem is, this doesn't work in Smash Ultimate. In fact, in Smash Ultimate, it's exactly the wrong approach. Ultimate's Amiibo AI got vastly fleshed out compared to 4. Like, you could actually teach Amiibo in Ultimate how to use its aerials, how to edgeguard, how to recover sometimes in different ways. Ultimate's Amiibo AI is exponentially better and smarter than Smash 4's ever was, which is why you should never, ever train Amiibo in Smash 4. Just trust me. But as a result of the new mechanics of Ultimate, the better AI, more characters, more stages as well, Amiibo AI stopped being linear and it stopped being orthodox. And so while the Amiibo community has kept up this culture of orthodoxy of, I'm the best, the fact of the matter is, there is no best, okay? You can try numerical rankings, like Amiibots, for example, which I've done videos on extensively. And Amiibots is a pretty solid way to tell who the best is. But the problem is, I was made aware the other day that the #1 King K. Rool Amiibo on Amiibots is an unorthodox King K. Rool. He followed a training guide, one of the King K. Rool training guides on the internet, I don't remember which one, and then he added the moonwalk method to it. It's unorthodox. Moonwalk method, by and large, isn't broadly accepted by the Amiibo training community because it's unorthodox, and yet the best is now unorthodox. It didn't follow a training guide. But if you deviate from the training guide and improve the training guide, then the original training guide has no claim towards this is how you should train the Amiibo, because now it's no longer the best option. In other words, by being unorthodox, you destroy the valid claim to orthodoxy that the training guide has, okay? And I realize I'm using too many abstract terms here. My point is that Amiibo training guides should not be viewed as this is the correct way to train the Amiibo. They should be viewed as the starting point. They should be viewed as the, I don't want to say the step stool, but the step stool that you stand on when you're trying to train a better Amiibo than what has previously come before. And you can't do that by just following the guide to the letter. Now, Amiibo guides are not necessarily worthless, okay? Many of them have long-term value. In fact, the way that we format the guides at amiibodoctor.com are specifically to be as valuable as possible, right? I would say that going in order from top to bottom, the information gets less useful. You'll notice if you go to amiibodoctor.com and read an Amiibo training guide, the AI issues section is right at the top, right? I think it's like, well, that's second down from the introduction to the trainer. But that's because if you're going to train a good Amiibo, you have to know first how its AI works. Doesn't matter if you're training a good one or training a bad one. The Amiibo meta can change. In 15 years, we can have everyone perfectly parrying or nobody staying on the ground at all. God knows what. I really, truly have no idea. But the AI is going to be the same, right? Then we have, here's how I trained my killer Amiibo. Here's how this works. That sort of thing, right? So that part of the training guides is still very valuable. At this point, you're probably asking the question then, Doc, if Amiibo training guides aren't useful, how do I know how to train a good Amiibo? And this is the less convenient answer than the Amiibo training guides. Sorry, but it's true. Unfortunately, to train a good amiibo, you have to have a reasonably better understanding of the AI, but it's also about performance and a little bit of luck, okay? Sometimes the amiibo learns exactly what you want it to learn because you're understanding what you're teaching and how to teach it. Sometimes it learns things that you don't know exist. Part of the reason that the moonwalk method was so interesting to me over these last several months is because it's picked up from something completely innocuous. When you turn around from your amiibo, you're facing your amiibo, you turn around. When you turn around, that raises a value called, I believe, Faint Master, which causes moonwalking behavior. And you'll notice, even before the moonwalk method existed, back in the day, for really as long as I can remember, many of the top amiibo had some sort of moonwalking behavior, typically when their opponent was on the ledge. This has been a thing that we've had for a long time, we just never knew how to exploit it. Alternatively, you could just like go watch Amiibots and wait for like the best amiibo of that character to come on and then just like kind of steal what they do. That's not as helpful because there's a lot of subtle playstyle data that gets taught in training that isn't really immediately visible to a typical observer, but that works too. Or you could just, throw crap at the wall and see what sticks. It's worth a shot. Why not? Right? But ultimately, as far as how to train a good amiibo, it really just does come down to understanding better how amiibo AI work and then seeing what has come before you. There is no institutional, here's the best way to do it. There's just advice. That's it.